Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's another video. Hope you subscribe to the channel, and if you are subscribed, I hope you've got your notifications switched on. And this video is based on people who are self-employed. Now, I've been making a few videos on a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Um, and this book just speaks on 4 different ways that people can generate income, or four different sources of income. But anyway, yeah, so I did a video yesterday talking about um what employee or the employee quadrant means for me, and what advice I would give to people who are in the E quadrant. And the biggest takeaway for me in that video was the fact that you have to find a way to cross over from the or the E quadrant to the next quadrant. So if you are an employee and you have a job, it's important to find a way to cross over to being self-employed, or to cross over to owning a business. But most of the time, being self-employed, which is having it's basically being your own boss. It's basically doing for self. um Basically, people who are hustlers, and people who are go-getters, who are you know people who are willing to take risks. Because if you are going to be self-employed, especially on a full-time basis like myself, then everything falls and rises on you. And that's, I would guess, the disadvantage, I think, of being self-employed, is that the failure rates are quite high. You could literally, being self-employed is riskier than being a an employee. It's riskier than having your own system. And that's where the difference is. Being a business owner is owning a I would say I want to choose my words carefully here, because having a job, or being self-employed, is a system whereby you have to continuously do the work. And the work, whether making profits is dependent on whether you do the work or not. But if you own a business, and that's something that you are gonna continuously do, you are the system, you are the ecosystem. It all falls and rises on you. And that's what I love and respect about people who are self-employed, um, is the fact that they know that they do it best. If you talk about people who are self-employed, dentists, we talk about people who are beauticians, people who do nails, hairstylists, tattoo artists, and all that people do. What is on my? All that people do to be their own boss, basically. And they strive to. They strive. People who are self-employed strive to be the best in what they do, and that's a good trait. Now, the problem comes when they have to cross over from being self-employed to owning a business, whereby it changes from them doing the work to other people doing the work. Now, someone who's self-employed doesn't want to teach the next person how to do something. Someone who's self-employed wants to do it themselves. They want to get the work done. And for me, that's just like a job. That's why I'm saying that a job and being self-employed is the same thing. It's the same thing. If you are self-employed right now, it's fana nespan. You have to find a way to cross over to owning the business, being a big business owner, owning up, not even a big business, but owning a business per se, where you have people that are in place to do the work. And I mean, if that's going to be the case, most of the 9 times out of 10, or most of the time, you have to be the one to start to do the work. So if you have a business of your own, you doing nails, doing hair, doing whatever, and you start this business, you have to do the work now. Do the work so that you're able to accumulate enough capital for you to be able to expand and diversify. And I'll probably do a whole another video on diversification and expand. That way you are able to also focus on your other streams of income. But if you doing the work, if you are constantly at the forefront of the business, then it's like a job. It doesn't make sense because you're still, it's the same thing. It's the same thing practically. And what I love about this quadrant as well is that we have seen examples from our mothers, our aunts, of people who, some of them were doing it as a side business, but some of them did it full time. But that culture of entrepreneurial thinking is something that we were exposed to. Most of us were exposed to. Our mothers sold products, bags, sold network marketing products, skincare, all of these things. We saw that growing up. And it's as if the world is now going in reverse. It's as if now it's although I do see quite a number of people still moving and making entrepreneurial moves and thinking in that way, but it's as if we're going in reverse, because back in the day people used to sell. They say that sales is the biggest skill, it's the biggest thing that you can learning to sell. And some people will say that, no, but I'm not a salesperson. Really? Really? So you didn't sell yourself on the fact that you needed to wake up. Don't you sell yourself to somebody you're attracted to. Don't you sell your kid the idea that they need to go and take a bath. Don't you sell yourself in an interview of a job that you really want. What are you doing in that interview? Selling yourself. You are a salesperson. Everybody's a salesperson. So when I come across people and saying, I don't know how to sell, I'm not a salesperson, trust me, you are probably the best salesperson and you don't even know it. When you convince your kid, you are selling them the idea that, look, you have to go to school, you have to do your homework. That's sales. You're selling. And I guess being self-employed, it really entails being able to sell, being able to be entrepreneurial in the way that you think. So that's where I find myself today. I'm self-employed. I'm loving it. It comes with the freedom, but the freedom, the freedom is not free. There's a price to pay. If you run true freedom, gosh, just almost stumbled over my words. If you want true freedom, you really have to work for it. Sitting on the beach money, sitting on the beach money is you can't be self-employed and earn sitting on the beach money. No, you earn sitting on the beach money on the other side of the quadrant when you are an investor, when you own a business. That's when you can have sitting on the beach money. We're talking residual income. We're talking, but as long as you doing the work still, uzophupa kudala. Uzophupa kudala. You'll win late. And like, if you still believe that, And I mean, guys, some people do earn quite a lot of money. But the way I see the world, there's infinite amounts of money in the world. Like, why should I limit myself to having an annual income of 2 million rand or 5 million rand? And now you're talking about the 1%. You know what I mean? So if I want to be the 1%, how do I break into the 1%? I'll never be in the 1% in a job. I can try being the 1% by being self-employed, but it's gonna get to a point where the kind of money that I need to earn, or the kind of money that I need to make to be good for life, is the kind of money that. And look, man, there are the billionaires, Jack Ma and them, and who still do the work. Yes, they are still doing the work, but they can just sit at home and the business will still run. If Warren Buffett if Patrice Motsepe just said it, like, everything would run, because they are investors and they own. Tina, when you are still an employee, you are still self-employed, and not everyone wants to be rich, and everyone shouldn't be rich. I mean, imagine if everyone was rich, like, it would take away there wouldn't be any meaning to, like, imagine if, you know so it's good that we have to work for it. It's good that we have to intentionally do stuff to get to that level, so that's why I'm making these videos, for you to understand, and taking you step by step, and making you realize that, okay, sharp, if you are a self-employed man, there's a next step. You need to go to the next step. You need to make an effort right now and plan how are you going to get to the next step, where you don't have to do the work anymore. What does that mean for your business, to go to the next step, for you to not do the work anymore, and you can just be away and things will still run? That's where you need to see yourself. So thank you so much for watching the video. Am I missing anything? Yeah, I think there's a couple of pointers, but I think other things I will address as I make this video, and I'll probably do like a summary of the whole book or whatever. But thank you so much for watching. I love the fact that these videos are getting 5 views, 2 views, 3 views, 1 view, no view, because I get to practice and I get to upload freely, knowing that by the time that I get better equipment, better camera, better sound, I'm ready. I'm comfortable in front of the camera. You know, uploading is much easier. So I'm happy, and I don't have people telling me that your camera's shitty and all of this. I'm honestly making this content to build myself as a YouTuber, as a motivational speaker, as a life coach, as somebody who aspires to do so much more than just what you see me do right now. And for me, this is and I love it. Love the fact that I'm doing it quietly, that maybe this content will be seen 2 years from today, 5 years from today, 20 years from today. My children, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren will be watching this content in 8 years. And that for me is sweeter than amassing about 100 views for this video today, 500 views, 10. Nah, I'm not about that. As long as I make the video, I do the work, I practice, and I show this on my channel, and I get better, and my kids one day, or just the world at large, or people who would revert to the content one day, when it's all said and done, and people will be scrolling and just checking what this guy was saying and celebrating it then and saying that shit, this guy actually was talking some real shit. That for me, the delayed gratification, that for me is sweeter than anything in the world. So thank you so much for watching if you watched until this far. And I think the next video I'm gonna make is about business on that. That is an important video because that's where you need to be right now. We out.